Palm Bay City Council meets Thursday, May 21st, and the headline item is a fuel station that the city's own Planning and Zoning Board does not want. The board voted 7-0 to recommend denial. Now the decision moves to council.
That 7-0 number is the whole story here. A unanimous board recommendation against a project is about as clear a signal as a citizen advisory body can send, and council is not bound by it. They can approve this anyway.
Let's lay out what is actually being asked. This is Resolution 2026-08, a quasi-judicial public hearing. The applicant is Summit Shaw through Ganesh of Titusville, LLC, represented by Carmine Ferraro of Crossover Commercial Group. They want a conditional use at the northwest corner of Emerson Drive Northwest and Glencove Avenue Northwest.
The conditional use matters because of the zoning. That parcel is neighborhood commercial. Retail fuel sales and a drive-through are not allowed there by right. The applicant has to ask council for special permission under Section 173.021 of the Palm Bay Code.
The plan is a 3,648 square foot convenience store with fuel pumps, plus a 1,344 square foot drive-through quick service restaurant. The site is 2.67 acres carved out of a larger 12-acre parcel. To the north and east is single-family residential, RS2 zoning, homes.
That is the friction point. The Planning and Zoning Board did not recommend denial on a technicality. The motion on May 6th was specific. The board found the use would fail the criteria in Section 174.041, subsection F, and the language is blunt. They said it would constitute a nuisance and a hazard because of vehicular traffic movement, fuel delivery movement, noise, and fume generation next to houses.
Resolution 2026-08 is the vehicle council uses to render its decision on that conditional use. If council approves it, there is a condition attached. The applicant would have to design, permit, and build a westbound right turn lane on Emerson Drive Northwest before the first certificate of occupancy.
Here's why people should pay attention. When a planning board votes 7-0 against something and council approves it anyway, that is council substituting its judgment for the body it appointed to vet land use. It happens, but it is not routine. Expect public comment. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means council members have to disclose any outside contact about the case before they vote.
That's the lead. The second public hearing item is the one a lot of residents have been tracking, the medical marijuana dispensary-ban.
This is Ordinance 2026-13, and Thursday is the second and final reading. First reading already happened on May 7th. If council adopts it, it is done. The ban takes effect immediately on the enactment date.
Deputy Mayor Mike Jaffe is the sponsor. The ordinance does two things. It defines a medical marijuana treatment center dispensing facility, and it prohibits those facilities anywhere inside Palm Bay's municipal boundaries. The legal authority cited is Section 381.986, subsection 11, Florida statutes, which lets cities ban dispensaries outright.
The grandfather clause is the part to understand. The ban is not retroactive. Any dispensary lawfully operating in the city on the adoption date becomes a non-conforming use under Chapter 173, Part 9 of the City Code. So existing operators continue. New dispensaries are blocked. The text did not change between the first and second reading. The Planning and Zoning Board forwarded it to Council 6-1.
Also on the agenda, new business item 2, the Charter Review Commission. The commission's chair, Ken Delgado, presents 8 proposed charter amendments, and council will also consider dissolving the commission.
The 8 amendments cover a wide range: citizenship requirements for the city clerk, city attorney, and city manager, a change to how council vacancies get filled, eliminating the 60-day appointment option in favor of a special election, lowering the petition signature threshold for citizen initiatives from 10% down to 4.5%, and a non-consecutive term limit count, 3 4-year terms total, 12 years, whether consecutive or not. If council approves, all 8 go to an ordinance in July and on to the November 3rd ballot. Estimated cost, $10,000.
Then there's the money. The consent agenda carries some heavy line items. Start with the one that ties back to the same road as the fuel station, Emerson Drive Northwest.
Right. Consent Item 4 is signalization at Emerson Drive Northwest and St. John's Heritage Parkway. That's $845,721 from transportation impact fees. It's a piggyback off a City of Orlando contract to Traffic Control Devices, LLC. The mast arm design is built to accommodate a future 4-lane St. John's Heritage Parkway, so this is corridor planning, not just one intersection.
The biggest number is Resolution 2026-07, the Malabar Road widening. This is a revised local agency program agreement with FDOT for the design phase. Total estimated design cost? $10.03 million, with about $3 million in federal and state reimbursement.
And there's a policy change buried in that one. The revised agreement removes the proposed roundabout at Malabar Road and St. John's Heritage Parkway. The roundabout becomes a separate project. The widening goes from 2 lanes to 4, roughly 4 miles. Minton Road out to St. John's Heritage Parkway. For context, Malabar from Jupiter to Minton is already running at 93% of its acceptable traffic volume.
2 more worth flagging. Consent Item 3 is a SCADA contract for the utility system, Prime Controls LP, about $1.5 million in upgrades plus $250,000 in maintenance. The detail there, the city solicited 846 firms and only 2 responded.
Thin competition on critical water and wastewater infrastructure is worth noting even when the procurement is clean. And Consent Item 6 is a roughly $75,000 fire rescue assessment study. That sounds routine, but is the precursor to a possible new non-Valor Room fire assessment on Palm Bay property owners starting October 1st. The study itself is the small step. The downstream policy is the big one.
There are also 2 federal program first hearings, Community Development Block Grant money, $805,531, and Home Program funds, $225,495. First hearings only. Final approval comes July 2nd. Notable that 4 agencies were not recommended for CDBG funding, including Catholic Charities, which staff is redirecting to a different program.
And before all of this, at 5:30, Mayor Medina delivers a State of the City message ahead of the 6 p.m. gavel, so the night runs long.
That's the preview. The vote to watch is Resolution 2026-08, a unanimous planning and zoning denial on one side, a council decision on the other.
We'll be in the chamber Thursday, and we will tell you what council actually did. For the Palm Bear, thanks for watching, and we'll see you after the meeting.